Hi everyone, my name is Liza Milgram. I am an attorney and I'm also the immediate past president of the Long Island Hispanic Bar Association. The Long Island Hispanic Bar Association looks to promote the growth and development of Hispanic attorneys as well as the Hispanic community at large. Today we are offering this program known as Career in the Courts, hoping to introduce you to the many wonderful career opportunities that await you in our court system. You've seen trials on TV and you have a glimpse of an understanding of what attorneys do and what judges do. But what about all those other people that you see in a courtroom? Or what about those people who you don't see but you know exist? Many of these people have very similar backgrounds to you. Many never dreamed of having a career in the courts. Many had negative experiences with the court system and never imagined a possibility that a legal career could now offer financial security to themselves and their families. We hope that after you watch this program, you're super excited about the potential to work in the court systems. The fact is, we need you. The people who come to this courthouse need to feel that the people who work here are a reflection of them.
Welcome. My name is Vito DeStefano. I am a Supreme Court Justice in Nassau County. I've been a judge in Nassau County since 2004.
My name is Darrell Johnson. I'm a sergeant in New York State Court, and I've been an officer for 25 years.
My name is Ananias Grajales. I'm the Chief Clerk of Nassau County Supreme Court, and I've been in the court system about 21 and a half years.
My name is Melinda Leon. I've worked for the New York State court system since 1997.
My name is Carlos Suarez, and my title is Court Assistant.
My name is Romano Lopez, and a court interpreter, and grade 18. And I started working as an interpreter since May 1994.
My name is Cheryl Davis, and I'm currently a court clerk specialist in the Nassau County Court in Mineola.
My name is Steve Bermudez. My title is court officer, and I've been in the unified court system for 21 years.
And my name is Justice Helen Vutinas. I'm past president of the Long Island Hispanic Bar Association, co-chair of this fantastic committee, Career in the Courts, and advisor to the Franklin H. Williams Commission.
I didn't pick a career in the courts picked me. I was given an opportunity. I was in the courthouse doing court business, and someone took a chance on me. They came up to me and talked to me. An officer came up to me and had a conversation with me and said, "You seem like a nice young man." And he handed me an application. And that was the start of me getting my career in the New York State courts.
The thing that made me pick a career in the courts was that at the time I was a paralegal in a firm, and the calendar clerk in that firm was applying for the court assistant test. And it caught my eye, and he explained what it was, and I took the opportunity and I applied for it. After that, I since left that firm, I went to law school and I became an attorney. I briefly practiced in a medical malpractice firm, but I kept getting the canvas letters from the courts saying, asking if I was still interested. And at a certain point, I made a decision that I wanted to do something that involved serving the public more.
When I was in college, my father was a New York City homicide detective for 30 years, and he testified a lot in court. So he knew all of the court officers, he knew what a court officer was. He reaches out to me when I'm in college and says, "Listen, I'm going to mail you the application for NYPD and for court officer." And I remember asking my father, "Well, what is a court officer?" I didn't know what it was. I had never been in trouble, thank goodness, in my life. I had never really been in the court. So I filled out the application and I mailed it in, and he calls me, "Okay, you have to come down Saturday to sit for the exam." And I did.
Besides my friend telling me, about the test, at the moment, at those times, it was word of mouth, or like if you work the labor department, they were posting or something, but before that, no.
Well, I was in the military, in the Army for 25 years, and upon completion, probably about a year before I retired, I had a friend that worked in the court system here in Nassau County, and he told me about a court assistant test, an exam that was being given, and to sign up. I wasn't sure at first exactly what I was going to do when I was going to retire. So, I took the test just to keep my options open, and I passed.
I've always been curious about court, I grew up in the 80s with LA Law and TV shows, and I was lucky enough that in my high school, they had a program, and my class was the second class to take the court reporting program. They felt that high school was too young, but they did a pilot program, and we did it.
On a day-to-day basis, I provide security for the building. I make sure that the judges are protected. I make sure that the safeguard the people. I transport prisoners to and from to the courthouse, to the prisons. I provide security around the entire facility outside. We're peace officers as well, so if there's anything that happens outside and we witness it, we can make an arrest and so forth. Basically, what I tell people is I'm a cop in a courthouse. I have the same jurisdiction as a regular police officer, but we do it in the courthouse.
To tell you the truth, when I was in uniform as a court officer, I had so much fun. We had the best time. As a matter of fact, the chief here, Kevin Anderson, we were officers together. We were a family. We were truly, there were about 100 court officers in the district court at the time. We were truly a family, and it was the best. We had traffic court at the time. I mean, we dealt with like 500-600 cases a day. It was so much fun. As a court clerk specialist, one of my primary duties is supervising the 20 or so courtroom clerks in the building. I also handle violations of conditional discharge. So let's say, for example, the judge sentenced the defendant, part of the sentence is a conditional discharge. So a conditional discharge is like a kind of like a lesser form of probation. You can't get in trouble anymore, stay away from people who have prior records, etc. If a defendant, let's say, for example, gets rearrested, that case can come back to the calendar. So I have to email a judge and let them know that, judge, they violated the conditional discharge. What do you want to do with that case? So that's just a couple of things that I do throughout my day.
I think the most fulfilling part of my job is being able to serve the community. I am a resident of this county, and it feels great to be able to contribute back to the county in a way, that ensures that people that come through the doors all get treated in a fair and just way. And at the end of the day, it's a very good feeling.
They come in the courthouse not knowing. Sometimes they do know why they're there, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they can't get out of their own way and they just look for someone to guide them and be kind to them. And that's one of the most fulfilling parts of the job, interacting with the people every day and making them feel comfortable and walking them through the process and knowing that they're not, we look at people who come in the courthouse as being criminals or being bad people, but that's not the issue. They come in because everyday life brings them in and they need to have someone guide them through the process.
So much happens behind the scenes. What I do every day is supported by the many people that work here. Every person, the court officers, the court reporters, the court analysts, the court specialists, the court assistant. They are integral and important to everything I do.
All rise. The Honorable Helen Vucina is present. Counsel, your appearances for the record.
Counsel, your application for the record.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in all matters before this court?
¿Usted jura firme decir la verdad en todas las cosas que delante de la corte?
Sí.
Yes.
Counsel, thank you for your arguments. Application is granted. So much happens behind the scenes, and it's instrumental in making the operations flow smoothly. There are so many opportunities here, And I invite you to come and see, come take a look, come and experience the behind the scenes and find your dream.
It means so much, not just to me, but to my family, to my grandparents, to my mom. My mom passed away, but she got to see me be.
I grew up in Roosevelt, Long Island, and we never had these opportunities. Nobody even came to my school or even mentioned that these opportunities existed.
I grew up in Williamsburg in Brooklyn, and it was the part of Williamsburg that I was in was predominantly Puerto Rican. So I grew up very aware of how certain people were treated. And I thought that there had to be more representation. There had to be more access to help for people in the community. And that was something that as a child growing up, I didn't see, and I wanted to be part of the solution.
Well, I grew up in the projects in the South Bronx. My mom had me when she was 15. My grandparents, they didn't speak any English. So she wasn't able to graduate high school. So that was a challenge just in general for our family in the beginning.
Working in Nassau County, I've recognized diversity is needed in the court system tremendously. I'm proud to be a Latino. I'm proud to be able to come to a person who needs help and not have to wait for somebody I could help immediately. And when you speak to somebody in their language, it gives them a little bit more of a comfort to come to you and be able to speak to you. And somebody else who hears you saying something in Spanish will come up to you and say, "Oh, can I ask you a question?" So is diversity needed? Diversity is needed everywhere, definitely in the court system.
A lot of the calls that I receive are from Spanish speakers. Some of them actually don't speak English at all. And when they hear my name, my introduction, Carlos, they automatically say, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I say yes. And I'm not the best translator, but I can translate most of the stuff that they're looking for.
People want to see people who look like them, and that helps them, makes them feel secure. As all of us, we feel secure when we're around people who look like us because we think that we have the same ideologies, but it's just important to see it first, and then it brings you a certain level of comfort, and then I think that helps the process.
I would say it's very important for the court system to understand that dealing with completely so many different cultures, okay? And it's very hard for them to understand that. And you have to have that patience.
I'm the first in my family to graduate from law school, the first in my family to graduate from college. I'm really proud of who I am and where I come from. Never did I believe that I would become the first Latina elected to the Supreme Court in Nassau County. That was an impossibility for me.
Being the first Hispanic chief clerk in Nassau County is personally a very humbling experience. And it makes me that much more motivated to excel and to be a positive example of what we are capable of being.
Court reporting has allowed me to buy my first apartment, my early 30s. I was able to buy my own home. My husband actually lost his job during the pandemic, and he's an accountant, he's a CPA. Everything was on me. And if it wasn't for working in Supreme Court, there's no way I could have been able to do that. The job security, the benefits, the health benefits. My son has special needs. Thank God I'm able to get him services that are covered by our insurance.
This is not only a career, but the benefits are outstanding. The pension that you get at the end of your career, the deferred compensation plan, the medical is second to none, the dental, the vision, the college plan that you can have if you want to start a family are absolutely second to none. And I think it's an absolute fantastic opportunity and a wonderful career.
Advice I would give young students looking for a career in the courts is you want to be part of the change. We come to the courthouse thinking that it's always a negative outcome. But if you're part of it, you can make the change within the system and be a part of it. So I would say you have to be a part of it to change it.
Anyone can come in. There's different entry level positions that people can come in as, and then they eventually go up through the court clerk ranks, and they can go as high as they can.
The advice that I would give for young kids looking for careers in the courts is to keep their options open, regardless if they have their career already planned out. I think looking at the courts, looking at the exams, taking an exam, would keep their options open.
The first thing I would say is don't be afraid. Just go for it. Do not be afraid. Call the school, visit the school, research online. When I did it, there was no internet, so everything was pounding the pavement and actually going to the places. Now you can go on the internet, look it up. You can make a phone call. Don't be afraid to even call a courthouse and see if you can sit in.
What I would advise the young people listening to this program, take advantage of it. Okay, you're going to find a place that will hire you with a high school diploma, and that's just the entrance. And once you are inside, the opportunities that you're going to have, the different paths that you can take, they are just unlimited.
For someone looking for a career in the courts, I would say to them, it affords you an incredible outlook, incredible possibilities that you would never even imagine even existed. You can work your way up to be an officer, clerk, judge, lawyer, anything. That's all possibilities within the court. They promote you based on your ability. And not only that, but if you're a family person, it allows you to spend a lot of time with your family. They put family first. And I've never missed anything with my children, any events, and if I had to do anything, so it allows you to be a great family person also.
When I first became a judge, one of my idols, Judge Miriam Altman, wrote me a note of congratulations in which she expressed her happiness that I was coming back to the courts from private practice. And she said specifically, "Our work in the courts is always interesting, it provides the opportunity to do good, and makes us look forward to going to work every day." In fact, that has been my experience. And so I hope that you consider a career in the courts. There are many ways and many places to employ your time and talents. And most importantly, as Judge Altman said, it truly does provide us with the opportunity to do good.
If you believe it, you can achieve it. I did, so can you. Opportunity awaits.